Well, at least with your monarchs, if they're with you, they're not doing anything stupid.
Oh, listen, I'm going to have to go in a minute. They've sent me what they've called the difficult cases. Marie, Edward, Charles.
You will address me as King Charles.
Everyone calls me David.
Oh, yes, you are so cute.
Marie, people are starving.
I know what you were going to say, but I never said that.
The temperature of all of your countries is not in your favour. Infantilising the masses is not a particularly good way to set the example for your people.
The people love me. Don't talk to me of the people. I am king.
My friend Wallace will be around, and I wouldn't like her to miss this.
This isn't a party, David. You can't just invite your girlfriend along to therapy. Let's start from the beginning of all of your lives to find out where the problem started. Your childhood. Charles, you go first.
My childhood? Well, I was not first in line to the throne. That was my brother Henry. He was stronger than I and more charismatic. And my father thought him the perfect son. I, however, was sick often as a child, and it was thought I would not survive into adulthood. My brother was a very popular prince. He teased me as a child, but I adored him. And when he died suddenly, the country went into an immense mourning. My father did not attend my brother's funeral. The country then looked to me as the future of the monarchy. Then my sister Elizabeth left to get married. I spent most of my formative years unwell and isolated, constantly in the shadow of my elder brother.
Wow. That explains an awful lot. I almost feel sorry for you.
Feel sorry for me? I do not require your sympathy, woman. I am God's anointed. I was put on earth to be king. It was in God's great plan that I should take over from my father and carve out a better England for my people.
And just like that, you're back to being you. Look at the mess you've gotten yourself into, Charles. You're a prisoner in your own country, and yet still, you won't admit that you were wrong. Do you have any idea of how many people have died in your civil war?
A few thousand.
Try somewhere in the region of 200,000 men and women. There has never been more blood spilled in Great Britain, and that includes the Great War.
The Great... what?
The Great War? Does your bad ruling affect your ears?
David, let me handle this.
It's a war, not a fairy tale. People die in wars. People who fought on my side are martyrs and will be glorified in God's eyes. The others who supported old Ironside, well, I think we know where their souls will go.
Families turned against families. I hear it was a very messy affair. You English are rather uncivilized. Maybe you should rename it the Uncivil War. Oh, que je suis amusant. Oh, please yourself. Your courts are so dull.
Marie, why don't you tell me something about your early life?
Oh, well, my arrival shook the world, quite littéralement. In Lisbon, there was an earthquake that was so violent, it could actually be felt all the way to Scotland. You know, some people said that was a bad omen.
Well, yes. It would have been horrific for everyone who died in the earthquake.
I was born in Österreich, at the Hofburgschloss, the Palace of Vienna. Is it perhaps the youngest daughters that achieved the most? No? Unlike Charles, I have a happy memory of my childhood. Apart from the smallpox raging its way through my family, killing several of them and destroying my sister's good looks and her chance of a prosperous marriage, or any marriage for that matter. Do you know, I could have been the wife of a composer. Yes. Herr Mozart was terribly embarrassed when his proposal of marriage to me was seen as a great joke. My Mutter, she was a strict woman. Disappointed with the amount of daughters she had. You see, the family business was to strengthen our alliance all over Europe. I was only 14 when I left for France to marry Louis. I was not allowed to keep anything of Österreich with me. I cried all night on my first night in Versailles. knowing I'd never see my homeland of Austria again.
Sounds like you were homesick.
No, no, how could I possibly be with my mother's incessant letters? She was strangely apprehensive about me becoming queen at 19, and wrote to me often about my doomed future.
Perhaps you should have listened to your mother.
Do you know what my biggest fear is, Mademoiselle Cat?
Losing the crown?
Oh, c'est mignon. Oh, mais non. I fear being bored more than anything in the world. And I am afraid that your probes are beginning to bore me. You would not like me when I am bored, Mademoiselle Cat.
Hear, hear.
Right, moving on. Edward, sorry, David, why don't you tell me about your early life?
What a dull topic. I was the eldest in a family of 6, the royal family. So, in fact, I was the heir. My father, George V, was a strict autocratic father, and so I was brought up by nannies. One of our nannies actually used to pinch us as children, so we would cry in the presence of our parents and be sent back to the nursery. Our parents eventually got wise to it and sacked her. Later, when I grew up and went to naval college, I just wanted to sort of run around with my Navy pals. I never really felt cut out to be king. All that pressure at such a young age, and for what? The monarchy is a dying thing. To cut a very long story short, I have never warmed to royal life. I much prefer being away from England rather than in it. I felt a great affiliation with my German roots. Now there's a country. A shame about all the troubles, of course. If only England would let out a welcoming hand. We were so cruel back in 19 with the Treaty of Versailles.
Yes, we are all very aware of your friendship with that German leader, David.
Well, it takes one popular leader to know one. Berlin in the late 30s, if you can all imagine it. What a city. So clean, women so fashionable, men in uniform. It's made such a comeback from the days where people hauled money around in wheelbarrows after the Great War. I know you are from the future, Dr. Cat, but was that German leader all bad?
Yes, he was. Literally all bad. Just you wait, David. You may well regret ever having been associated with him.
Well, Wallis liked him. Then again, she did go out with Herr von Ribbentrop for a time.
You may yet see the darkest hour of the world as yet to come. David, I urge you to be on the right side of history. Maybe there's somebody else in your family who would make a good king, particularly in a time of war.
I'm not sure that's how it works, Chatty Cat.
Oh, Chatty Cat, oh, that's sweet. I like that.
You have a younger brother, don't you?
I have 3 still living.
And what about the Duke of York?
What, Bertie? Don't make me laugh. Imagine my bumbling brother Bertie on the throne. A Bertie who can't get his words out. No, thank you.
I find your remarks highly offensive.
Hit a nerve, have I?
Careful, David.
I had trouble speaking as a child. They put pebbles in my mouth to make me get my words out, and eventually I overcame my difficulties. Now I am king. If anyone were to make fun of me, I would have them removed. So perhaps it is you who had better watch your tongue.
Oh, attention, monsieur. S'il te plaît. Arguing is such a tiresome habit. Anyone for dice?
No dice. So, growing up royal isn't always easy. What's new? You had pressure put on you at a very early age, and your parents expect the world from you and are always disappointed. So, you all lash out in your own ways. I am desperately trying to eke out some good here. So let's move on to something that you are proud. I'm sorry, who is playing that music? Is that you, Marie?
Oh, don't look at me.
Sorry, it's Wallis. She's having a party downstairs. One sec. Sweetie! Sweetie, turn it down, will you?
Pathetic. Well, Dr. Cat, I am most proud of my little cherubs. My children are a source of comfort and delight to me. You see, they were much waited for, much longed for. And when I was finally blessed, oh, the bliss. If ever I was parted from them, I would not know what to do. You see, I have no one else. Yes, I hear that there are problems in my country, but it is not my fault. I inherited a country that was already discontented and pauvre. I was incredibly young. J'étais une fille. And I have been kept away from seeing France and the problems within it. Recently, people have not been fair. I have been made aware of slanderous mistruths about me that are traveling around Europe. It is those poisonous pamphlets that spread lies about me, and these people that write them, they are making a great sum of money to discredit me. A woman being attacked by a man with a slanderous pen. What is new?
Well, the people love me, as does the press. It's the moustache-growing, grey-suited fuddy-duddies that think I'm a dangerous subversive. My father, grandfather, and my great-grandmother shut themselves out from the people of this country. My finest hour, sitting in the trenches of France with my fellow man, not prince and subject, soldier to soldier, brothers in arms. Of course, my father didn't let me fight.
You very nearly impressed me there.
You may learn a thing or two, Charlie, and you, Marie. On one particular progress as the Prince of Wales, I was to tour some mining villages in the north of England, and they picked me up in a Rolls Royce. I refused, and I refused again. Apparently, I insulted the dignitary who wanted to take me around an area of damnable poverty in a blooming Rolls Royce. Again, that shook the top hats of those in Whitehall.
But surely, as king, you want to, comment le dire en anglais, well, to show off.
Not if you want to be seen as a human being to the people.
You are God's anointed. No, wait a moment. I am God's anointed.
Charles, please let David finish.
Don't worry, Dr. Cat. I know what it is to be the subject of many nasty conversations in the walls of the establishment. It's so utterly frustrating. My life is for me to judge. Who I decide to spend my life with, it is my decision, and mine alone.
You refer to Wallace?
Yes. If you must know, I plan to marry this woman.
Well, as you know, David, the rules are the rules.
Will there be a time when a king can marry the woman he loves, even if she is a divorcee?
Yes. In my time, there is a future king who does marry a divorcee.
I suppose you cannot rush the times. Change happens when it's ready, however unfair that might be.
Aren't you king in your own time? Why are you letting Parliament decide? It's very simple. Just dissolve. Dissolve. Dissolve.
Dissolve?
Yes, dissolve Parliament until you get your own way. I was without Parliament for 11 years. These were some of the best years of my reign, not being weighed down by the simple minds of rambling politicians. I've had more roads made, stabilized finances, started a postal service, and helped an unemployment crisis. I've made improvements to the lives of my people, so I tell you, dissolve, dissolve, dissolve.
Ah, yes, what a wonderful idea. Why don't I just do that? I will dissolve Parliament on a whim. Don't you understand that it's your fault that future monarchs don't have any power?
David, that's enough.
My fault? If you want to blame a king, blame King Henry VIII for breaking with Rome and dissolving the monasteries. He did much to damage our souls.
May I suggest something? A sort of head in the sand approach? I cannot do anything to help my people. The power does not lie with me, but with my husband and the other men of France. I'm here to have children and be a pawn in their games. So I spend my time partying and gambling and making fashion statements. My head is firmly in the sand.
Your head, Marie, is what I am most concerned about. Wallace, is it? Terribly sorry, this is a private session and David should have told you that. I'll have to ask you to leave, but I am more than happy to set up a private session with the two of you for later in the month.
Oh, don't you worry your pretty head about it. It's not the first time I've been asked to leave this week. Americans, huh? You just don't want us near the throne.
Now look what you've done. Listen, I'm going to have to go. Thanks for the advice.
You're welcome.
No, not you. Marie. I think I will do that head in the sand idea. Charles, I will do some more arguing with my parliament and my family. Ta-ra.
Wait.
You're welcome. Must be nice to be in love and know the person you want to marry. Ah oui, c'est parfait. Oh, c'est très joli. That is a very good likeness. The brush strokes, they are beautiful. Bravo, bravo.
Marie, are you having your portrait done? Now, really? Marie, this is a private session.
Oh, ma chère Dr. Cat, you are so sweet. Did you honestly think that I would be alone? I am never alone. I am surrounded by the court from the moment I wake up to the moment I close my eyes at night. Never a moment's peace since I was a young girl. But now I must go and play host. I have neglected them for too long.
Marie, remember your people. I urge you to get out and see the real France for yourself.
I am told that would only upset me. And nobody wants a sad queen, do they? Adieu.
Charles, before you go, you need to listen to me. For your own sake, work with your parliament and not against them. Gone are the days when kings get to rule with divine right. Swallow your pride. And if you get a chance to apologise, then just do it.
Well, whatever my fate may be, Dr. Cat, it is not yours or mine to decide. What I know is this. I know in my heart that I must stick to my convictions and not show fear or yield to these men. Politicians, they come and they go, but monarchy is a constant flowing river that you cannot stop. You must not concern yourself with my soul any longer. If worse comes to worse, I will even wear 2 shirts so that people will not mistake my shivering for fear. So you see, Cat, whatever becomes of me, you know as well as I that you can never completely get rid of a monarchy, whether there is a monarch or not. God be with you, Dr. Cat.
Hi, yeah. Hi, Pam. It's me, Dr. Cat. I need some time to... Please tell the boss I need a week off.
Good day to you all. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank each and every one of you for watching Monarchs Anonymous. You're all very loyal subjects indeed. And thank you to all those who've donated anonymously through our GoFundMe page. These donations help us enormously, and we're very, very grateful for them. We will be closing our GoFundMe soon, so if you would like to donate, you can find the link in the description box. If you'd like to support us in another way, you can do so by subscribing to our channel if you've not already. And you can also hit the little bell so you'll be alerted when the next episode is out. We're nearing the end of this series of Monarchs Anonymous, but never fear, we will still have a few more surprises to come. Goodbye for now, and I shall see you next time for another episode of Monarchs Anonymous.